happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Kenn Bosak.
All right, bros, we're live.
We're live. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, mates.
Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta fix the live stream a little bit. The video's not perfect. But anyway, how goes it? Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Much appreciated.
It goes, bros. How you bros doing?
It goes.
Yeah, it's just exciting times nowadays, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. There's like mainstream crypto and NFT news every day, so that's kind of exciting because we've been here for longer. I haven't been here that long, but I can still act like I have, so it is what it is. But it's fun to be like, I was here before you, you know.
I was here first.
First.
Get behind me in the line.
Like I put this heartfelt message on Twitter the other day, and Ken just goes first. It was so perfect.
Yeah, I thought it was the proper way to respond. It was heartfelt.
Yes, that's a heartfelt response.
That was a heartfelt first, yeah. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Smart Digital Payments. Hey, Miss Team Crypto, how goes it? Everybody tuning in. Jordan, as always, my bros are all here. Scott, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget to like and share. My co-host, as always, is here today. We got Nathan, who just now he's not here. I don't know. Fucking
my light got kicked off.
Stop yelling at us.
Sorry.
And our guest today is one of the NFT bros I look up to in this space. Anders, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, mate. I'm happy to be here.
It's great to have you, bro.
Always a good day when you get to talk about NFTs.
Yeah, man.
Especially with somebody who gets it. You know, a lot of the times I have guests on, they're more questions than answers, you know, a lot of the time. So it's good to have somebody on that I feel like's in that, you know, inner circle of the few people that actually really get non-fungible tokens beyond, you know, just the art aspect of it, but the real utility and gamification that can be done with it. I guess before we jump into it, I know I was on your show. This is your first time kind of popping up on mine. Maybe let my audience know a little bit about yourself, maybe how you got into crypto and how that led you to your involvement with Wax.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's try to wrap that up quickly. I started in, I think in 2016, my first investment was in Dash. So Dash is the first crypto I got into. Yeah, exactly. I thought that payment solution by now would be used in way more than it is.
Which is why I still have the tattoo, but I don't have any of the coins.
Yeah.
We've all had those moments where like, this is gonna be the thing, man.
Yeah, and then I'm working with a team called Southwest Eden. We go by Sweden with a slash between the W and the E. So we started the first public testnet of the EOS blockchain long before the EOS mainnet started. And then we run block producers for EOS, for Wax, FIO, Bose, Proton, Near, and a bunch of other blockchains. So we run infrastructure, and I work full time with that. And then I do some videos and tutorials in text and everything covering, well, a lot of the content is on Wax because Wax is so exciting. I mean, it was fun to talk about crypto before, but it has never been as fun to use it as it has been since I started to use Wax, for sure.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah,
like
the first video Ken sent me when I started asking about Wax, he's like, watch this. So I knew you from that, so it's cool to actually meet you now. You introduced me to this ecosystem technically, and you didn't even know it.
Very cool, very cool. Very happy to hear.
Okay, that's pretty small crypto world there. I like it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this whole NFT boom kind of makes me feel like everybody that was, on the NASDAQ, the stock floor trying to throw like, buy this, short that. They walked out and all ran over to like Dave and Buster's. You know what I mean? Like we have like all these suits now trying to hang out in arcades and pretend like they're kids again with their hats on backwards. No offense, Nathan.
What?
You're
I'm
not
cool.
that old.
I have mine
yet.
forward.
I'm hip.
You're not that
I'm only
old.
33.
But it's still.
I'm the old man here. That's so crazy. How the hell did that happen?
So I'm just curious, like, Anders, what do you think seeing, like, the VC investors kind of heading towards NFTs? Since, up until now, it's all just been, gamers and, collectors and people who genuinely just like it. But now what we're starting to see is a big wave of speculators. And I don't know if people have been having these conversations. So I'm curious, like, what your thoughts are on the potential effect that speculators could have in our NFT environment now that they're being introduced for the first time. Well, first time in waves.
Yeah, I think I'm equally. It's a mixture of both being scared and being excited about what's coming from that, because I think a lot of people starting to see a gold rush and starting to do the same thing as people did in the ICO bubble when there were like daily ICOs everywhere. People threw in money and a lot of people got burned by it. I hope we do not see the same thing in NFTs, but we do see people creating things that they claim is an NFT but isn't, and I'm worried what will happen when that goes in the wrong way. But I'm very excited to see that we start to get a lot of media attention for this technology, because the use of that is, I don't know, endless what we can do with it, and we have just started to test the grounds. So it's amazing to see.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that we're at the ground floor and we already have so many use cases for everything too, just in like NFTs alone. It's kind of crazy the speed at which the development's happening, and also the fact that, I mean, we mentioned all these people pouring in. It used to be for collectors. Now, like a lot of them, traditional investors are getting in. I see a future where a lot of the people that were on the ground floor as collectors end up accidentally becoming rich because of that, though. So it might be a good thing, people that have been buying and selling and compiling their bag of wax for the last, however so often, and now it just shoots up because people noticed it all of a sudden. Yeah. That's a huge benefit. And like, it's kind of a beautiful thing too, to like repay the efforts of the people who kind of built it, So that's a positive.
Yeah. And that is that is more like small people money. And that's the kind of attention that I think is the most exciting one, where we can reach more people all over the world in a new way, and we can find utility for things we own. We can have true ownership for game items. And that's when it's like that is more exciting for me than someone buying an NFT for $69 million, even though that is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, it brings a lot of attention.
Yeah,
Definitely
exactly. It's
agree.
great for media.
Yeah.
Well,
It
that
helps a
NFT
lot.
is probably going to get given utility by the community. You know how many artists are going to see the address that's holding that Beeple NFT, and they're going, and I've seen this, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but I get the concept, I think. But a lot of artists are just giving away their art for free to people that have art
Yep.
that is very valuable because they want those people to see their art when they go and look in their wallet to check out their Beeple. They're going to go and see a piece of art from whoever in that wallet right next to it. Or if somebody goes to check that guy's wallet, like the mainstream media are keeping an eye on that wallet, they're going to see art getting put into next to that Beeple for 69. So the utility of that NFT has kind of become like a cultural community utility of like an airdrop kind of like, and I think that's the cool thing that we're going to see is not so much the designed utility, but that secondary utility that can't be prevented with NFTs, like what I've seen done with Our Planet. It's pretty cool that they could just be like, oh, cool, Anders has NFTs on Wax. Yeah, you can stake them on Our Planet now. And it's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, guys, apparently you can stake my NFTs now. Like that's the
Yeah.
utility that other people can provide to other people's NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. Since they are in an open and public blockchain, other projects can build and utilize them, and that is something that I find exciting and something that big brands are a little bit afraid of. When I've talked to the guys in the Tops team, that seems to be the biggest hurdle when they talk with those that they have the IPs from, like Disney. They are worried that if they issue NFTs and those NFTs are showcased and used in the same place as something they do not want to associate with Mickey Mouse or whatever. So like they lose all the control on the secondhand market and the world, what can be used with them. It's hard to ban NFTs. So
Well, you think that's
yeah,
kind of why the NBA is going with Flow and Flow's doing things the way they're doing them?
Controlled chaos. They want to have some kind of grip on it a little bit.
yeah, it's a little bit scary that Flow can terminate an account and remove NFTs.
Yeah.
But I really do hope that everything with Flow will turn as transparent and usable as they say it will, that people can actually access it, and it's a public blockchain. Right now it's not, and I really hope we will see that change.
Yeah, I
I
stopped
don't think
putting
people in
money
the
in.
mainstream care as much, but like we do,
Yep. And they
'Cause they're
will
used to
care
business
though.
as usual.
They'll
They're like,
care.
hey, this is how business works. Who cares? But like we do, that's not how it should work in this side of business.
Well,
So,
the mainstream didn't care about a very small amount of people being censored by Facebook and Twitter until the mainstream started getting censored by Facebook and Twitter. When the
yeah.
mainstream adopters of NBA Top Shot start to realize that their accounts are being deleted because they broke terms and services and they lost all their moments in their account because they broke the rules, like, yeah, then that'll change. But again, it's just, I think that's the whole like, incentive before, adoption. Like they're going to have to be motivated by the end users to give us our private keys. And, the end users that are going to have that experience of like, oh shit, I shouldn't have been, money laundering on Top Shot. I didn't know better. Now all my shit's gone. They're probably not going to want to play in those, centralized environments anymore. Even if that's not what they're doing intentionally, some people realize, oh, I can't get money out, and you can. Hey, can I buy a card from you and you can just send me the money? And like, people don't realize that that's money laundering, right? They just think that they're being creative and didn't realize, oh shit, I'm breaking a fucking law here.
Yeah, and you got a lot of people breaking laws under the guise of like, hey, we want decentralization. This is freedom. And they're like on the back end laundering money too. So that doesn't help our cause though. Like there's a lot of people hurting this cause and kind of unintentionally forcing the hand of people like Flo and kind of putting them in a weird situation where for them to exist, they have to monitor these things or else they're going to be as liable and accountable as the person themselves if they get caught.
Yep. Yeah,
guilt by association, they're facilitating a crime. So they have to be very careful too. And it sucks that like we're stuck in the middle of that, but like it's just another part of being in crypto, I guess, that we're sort of used to anyway. We're getting thrown into that, we're lumped into that group, that guilt by association. That's why people try to say digital currency instead of cryptocurrency. It has like these dirty connotations attached to it almost. It seems.
Yeah, and the bigger a corporation is, the more regulation they have to abide by, and like take Block One for example.
Yeah.
That's a big team now, which seem to have created a lot of issues because things are moving very slow and things they wanted to do doesn't seem to happen. Like voice, it felt like that got hit hard by regulatory aspects. And I think that we will see the same thing with a lot of big teams, and the small teams might not have the same issues. They might be from other places. They might even launch things without having an official team like Bitcoin did. And then they can get away from a lot of things, and no one can prevent anyone from using that, and that is awesome. But it's also scary for people when they go and use something and they have no idea what they are doing, and they create an account and then they forgot to create the 2FA, and then their account
I
gets
wanted to
hacked and
talk
they
about
lose
that,
everything.
man, because earlier yesterday I've seen
Yeah.
way too many people and a few people that are really close to me in my community, and we're not even exactly sure how the exploits were done. Like, there's only theories right now, but a little bit of what happened yesterday with the Wax community was people were seeing assets and currencies, leaving their Wax wallets. And it was coming from people all that did not have a 2FA on their Wax Cloud wallet. So, we don't know if it was, logging into, a DApp or accepting a trade link. But whatever the case may be, you people listening really need to put 2FA on your Wax Cloud wallet. I mean, you're already doing a kind of a crypto party fail by using Wax Cloud Wallet because that's custodial. You don't have your private keys. If you lost your Google Gmail and password, somebody gets access to that. They're going to have all of your funds, and there's nothing Wax or anybody can do about that. And if there was anything they could do about that, I wouldn't be using it. So it is definitely scary when you're bringing people in to be their own bank, and it's just supposed to, it's just for toys, it's just all this responsibility for like your Street Fighter toys now. It's too much, I still think, right? And I'm curious, like, what you think of how maybe like what your theories are on how something like this could have been achieved by the person who was basically quote unquote hacking, Wax wallets yesterday.
Yeah. In my opinion, there are a few different weak areas, and one of them being that you can use social media login. Social media login, usually people don't have a secure password. They want to have easy access to their social media. So they just click and they have their same password, and that password might have been connected to the same email they have everywhere else. And both of those has been leaked before in some kind of database that got hacked, and either the password or the password and the email got leaked, and they are just using that to brute force attack. I know that the Wax team has banned people from that kind of abuse in the cloud wallet, and that is the same thing that would happen with any service like this. I mean, there are Bitcoin wallets that are custodial, that you just get a seed phrase and a website, and people do the exactly same thing. They just go wild with passwords and try to brute force their way in, and when they get it, they just move the funds and they are gone. So that is likely the most obvious one, is that people are not using a secure password. And if they are using the same password in another place, and that password has been leaked and someone bought it off the black market, or that is a public leaked password. That is very common. Or the second one would be social engineering, where someone is nice to you on the internet. They start to talk to you, being your bro, being a cool guy and getting more information about you. And suddenly they have your recovery words that you use for some of your email service, like your cat, the school you grew up in, or whatever. And then they get access to your email, and then you're fucked. Like, everyone lives on their Gmail account today. Not everyone, but almost everyone does. And even if you have 2FA and it's Google and you use Gmail, I mean, if they are inside your Google, they are inside everything you have. And it's just a matter of time. And then they have your exchanges, and they have everything. So everyone should just have a password manager. And one of the most easy one to use is LastPass. It's not that hard. You need one secure password that you remember to LastPass, and then random password, random emails everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I try to tell people, change your email password once a month. Maybe, use an
I'm writing
email
LastPass.
that you don't give out ever to anybody for any reason. You're not going to receive emails. You're not going to get, membership email. You only use this email for this one platform. And if you're going to make another account on another platform, make another email account.
Yeah, that goes back to the be your own bank thing too, and we all want that, but we're not responsible enough to really handle it. And even though I was to preach this aren't like fully set up, I don't have everything perfectly set up. Guys out there that want to come at me, I'm one of these people too that has been at risk in the past, and like it's crazy how many people
We are all
try
at risk.
don't
That's the problem.
understand.
Yeah, man, I've been hacked. I mean, I think the video is still out there on YouTube somewhere from like 2017. I got hacked. They got everything, like Gmail, and from there they got Twitter, Facebook, Dropbox, Google Photos. I mean, my MySpace, dude, everything was gone. I had some things like my exchange info and stuff, and yeah, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars overnight. Just woke up and hundreds of grands were gone, and I'm just like, well, fuck, I didn't know. I just cried. I ain't gonna lie. I was just like, well, this sucks. Felt like somebody just walked right into my house, took everything out of it, and I woke up on the floor. Nothing, not even a mattress left. So, I don't want to see people going through this in the NFT space because it is supposed to be more fun. Like, I don't want it to be too, worrisome and financy and all this crap that we took into crypto and the ICO space. But I realize a lot of people that are coming in, they didn't have the opportunity and the privilege to learn from the ICO issues and problems. So this is that learning phase, and unfortunately this is inevitable. We're going to see a lot of people get fucked over, get hacked, and then hopefully we, as the 1 or 2% mass adoption into this right now, we can set an example for the other 98%.
Yeah, and one thing that has been going around in the communities, there are people sitting in the wax chats. They are using another account in the wax chat, so we can't track them. And they are sending out Google Forms where people are entering their private keys or entering their login details.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And like people want to think the best of everyone, and it looks like a correct person writing to them, but it's not. If anyone asks for your password or asks for your key, it's a scammer.
How would you treat it in public if some person you don't know comes up and starts asking you all kind of stuff? You'd be like, all right, this is sketchy. Let me get
but they don't. Yeah, but that's the thing. These people don't know shit. They think they're in a safe environment. Yeah. It's almost like you're in Walmart and the manager walks up and asks to see your ID because they need to make sure you're of age because you're in the spray paint aisle. You're not going to think anything of it. You're going to be like, oh, here's my ID, bro. I'm in the spray paint aisle. Meanwhile, they're remembering your name, address, and everything that they need. So when they walk away from that aisle, they can go and pretend to be you, and they never even worked at Walmart. That's what's happening to people.
Yeah. And also people just since that is going on, be careful like what you're clicking on too. Everybody just clicks these links and signs transactions like there's no issue.
Not just that, Anders, I think you could agree with me on this, bro. Stop scanning QR codes you don't fucking know. Like, why are people like Nathan right there? He's like, yo, don't be clicking on links you don't know, man. Links are scary. Don't click on unknown links. But the moment people see a black and white QR code, they can't get their phone out fast enough.
Yeah, look on your Instagram. Don't scan this. How many people do you think did?
I don't know. Too many.
But this is the point. Like, we can't help ourselves. Like you can like literally tell somebody not to do it.
That is exactly why you have to take the precautions.
Yes. Yeah, we can't
because you will make a mistake.
Yep.
It will hurt. What you have to do is minimize whatever mistake that is happening.
Yeah, we're all into risk management with investment, but not with our own security and our own information.
I wrote an article about private key management for dummies is what I named it. It is on waxsweden.org. So if anyone wants to go there, you can find it.
Oh, so you mean I could read this article and get all your OPSEC?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
No, but really like... I'm not a big fan of LastPass even because it's a cloud service. So if you use that, that's a honeypot. So people that want to get your information. Okay, we have this one service. If we manage to get in social engineering our way into that, that is a big problem.
Yeah, the best way to do that is get a job at LastPass.
I mean, they even got into the Twitter admins by social engineering. So it will happen. The question is when, and can we trust whatever they say that they have done with when we created our seeds and everything? The code is not open source. Everything we have to just trust that everything is legit. It seems to be, but how? Like, at what value do you want to trust them because it seems to be the correct thing, and at what time do you want to take an extra layer of precaution? That also has to be with what is a big size of value for you. Perhaps that is a $1,000, perhaps it's 100, perhaps it's 1 million. Doesn't matter. It's different for everyone. So what I do is I use something called KeePass. There is a lot of different versions. It's an open source password manager. You have it on your desktop. It's not a cloud service. But it also means that you have to take care of your files. You have to take care of everything, but it means that I do not send it out to someone. So if I make a mistake, it's on me. But yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't want the responsibility. And things happen and they go, oh no.
That's why I'm trying to push people to use Anchor right now. You know, I think this is that moment. I know Anchor Mobile and all these mobile wallets. I mean, dude, we're so early into Wax right now. We don't have a mobile wallet. Like, everyone keeps asking me, oh, what's the best mobile wallet for? I'm like, there isn't one. And if there is one, it fucking sucks. I mean, that's the real problem. That's why everybody opts into using the Google Cloud Wallet, you know, for the Wax Cloud Wallet. I'm trying to push people to use Anchor, set up that username. It's hopefully more people get into it that way. I don't see it being pushed by Atomic, and not that I'm like, whatever, it could care less if it's my article, but there's your video, there's Stash's video, there's information that's provided, but there is nothing on Atomic Hub that walks people through how to set up an Anchor account or make a wallet or anything to help them get into possession of their keys. And I wrote a 2-minute article with 3 steps for people to do this. I mean, EOS key, Anchor wallet, blocks.io, done.
But even those steps are hard for someone that is.
I know. I've been. I know.
I know that Ken doesn't love these, but this is why I like these ones. Nice. Because this is just a USB key that has your keys inside it, and that makes it better than a cloud wallet because you can you have the control of the key. You have to physically press something for it to go away, but there are risks as well with that. If you order it from the wrong place, you don't know if that is a fake one or a real one that someone has activated before. That has happened because they bought it from the secondhand market. It's a big deal. Nice. I get a good deal on this hardware wallet. And no, you didn't. You got scammed.
I just look at hardware wallets sort of like having a disposable camera and a smartphone at the same time. You know, I got this guy here, and this was one of the first models. It's called a
coolest thing ever, by the way.
And this is by Siren Labs, uses blockchain OS, and it has a hardware wallet built in that uses a separate processor. The only thing it shares is the battery. And my hardware wallet's in my phone. And I think that's, I mean, the way when I spoke to HTC and whatever the hell the other company was, they were making phones, you know, specifically for this, where like your phone basically has a hardware wallet built in. That's the only reason I'm not a big fan of hardware wallets to begin with. It's like a weird extra accessory, like, you know, an MP3 player and a smartphone in your same pocket. It's, why would you do that? And another thing, just because we're talking about hardware wallets real quick for people listening, like, if you have a hardware wallet and your private keys are in a safe somewhere, and for some reason there's a natural disaster and that safe, you know, is destroyed or lost in, you know, a ditch during an earthquake, but your hardware wallet's still safe around your neck, and you go and plug in that hardware wallet and it needs an update, the firmware update, you're absolutely fucked because you don't have your private keys anymore. That's the problem I have with hardware wallets. It's a complete false sense of security, and people are getting fucked over by hardware wallets on a regular basis due to the firmware updates. And if you don't do the firmware update, somebody's just going to find your hardware wallet, hack it because you didn't update the firmware, and they're going to get all your shit off of it. So there's too many problems with hardware wallets than solutions, just in my opinion.
That's why I tattooed my private keys on my butt.
And I got mine right
Nice.
here. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I got mine right here.
But yeah, like there's an option. Like we do have options. It's just gonna be uncomfortable. That's
Yeah,
the other part about just managing things. These things are all uncomfortable and takes time. We don't want to do
But most people, whatever
You
they
know.
have to do is they have to start using different emails everywhere. They have
Yep.
to
Yeah.
start using any of the password manager. And when they do that and add a 2FA, they are most likely good to go.
Yeah.
That is the most the only thing they really need to care about. If you have different email passwords, you don't use that on other places, and you have a 2FA, you should be good to go if you're not very unlucky.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on staking? Because recently this has kind of scared the shit out of my community. Our Planet and things like Alien Worlds. I'm curious what your thoughts are on, the concerns that you may have wrapped around, NFT staking.
Yeah, I would love that our planet wasn't that I didn't have to send my NFTs away to smart contract. I know a team that is trying to build something. I thought it was going to be more like our planet than it is, but it's not. But you should be able to like activate your NFTs in your wallet, and as long as you keep them there, you keep getting rewards for them instead of having to send them away, because then you can keep them in a cold storage and you know they are safe. I mean, the guys behind the smart contract on our planet, they are legit people. They have a history. Crypto Lions, they designed a simple asset NFT standard. They have been around the EOSIO community since before it launched. But anyway, they could have made one tiny mistake somewhere in the code. I do not imply that they have done that, but there is always a risk when you send more and more and more NFTs to one place. I don't know if they're key. I don't know how they treat them. Probably they treat them very well. I do not know. I don't know. Don't know exactly which accounts has permissions of that. I don't think anyone. I hope. I haven't even checked it. But yeah, I'm not big fan of sending out my NFTs to a smart contract. I rather keep them in my wallet.
It's terrifying. And you don't know, it's like, you don't know how they're, like you said, how are they securing these things? How are they keeping track? It's
You can find out most of
art
it,
museum
but
with no guards at the door, and people just like walk in and rip the shit off the wall if they really wanted to.
Well, it is like Andrew said, it is all open source code that we could audit, and hopefully somebody reputable and educated enough has if there's anything that stands out that doesn't look right, they would have hopefully said something by now, right? And that's the space we do but that's the space, man. We self-govern and we do delegate some responsibility that we are supposed to do our own research, but we delegate that to people that we believe to be more reputable, more educated and understanding of what it is that we are looking at. If I go to buy a used car, I wouldn't know a used car that has 100,000 miles left on it to a used car that's going to break down at the next stop sign. I don't know that. So I have to bring a friend with me that's a mechanic that knows what he's looking at when he looks under the hood. And we should all have those friends in our circles when it comes to this stuff. What I'm getting at, though, with our planet and staking, and it's not so much our planet either. I'm concerned about a lot of the pop-up copycat clones that I'm starting to see that terrify me, because our planet, like Anders mentioned, has a very good reputable team, legacy, and they're public. We know who they are. But there's these other projects that are basically taking what our planet has done, copying and pasting, and we don't know who they are behind that at all. And I don't know if they're big enough, and there's so many that there's no time for people to really audit those smart contracts. And even smart contracts that we've seen developed by big companies, they've had bugs and people have exploited those smart contracts. So just guys, be careful with these staking platforms that you're going to start seeing for your NFTs. There's going to be a ton of them, and that's my main concern, is we're going to see a Mount Gox NFT event or like a BitConnect level NFT event, and Yeah, just the whole thing yesterday.
Yeah,
got me
I'm not
thinking about
sending
it.
away my valuable NFTs to any contract.
You
I'm
shouldn't.
keeping them.
And that's the thing. There's always we're in this space that's
We got
supposed to be
a $11 euro
verify.
super chat. Thank you very much. Anthony says, "What's up, guys?
What's
To
up?
Mars." Yes.
But we need to realize that even though it's decentralized and it's, you know, don't trust, verify, all this stuff, like there's always going to be at least one point of trust, and these are points of entry. Any trust point is an entry point potentially for like anything, even like a brute force method, like you mentioned. Like these are the things where we need to be responsible. These are the doors that we need to guard ourselves. Never expect somebody else to be guarding that door for you. But it's interesting, like even within our communities, we still have to rely on trust. All right, somebody got this. You know, I know somebody's looking at it. Like, so, and then we trust that that person is going to tell us even that they haven't reached a deal to keep it secret. They're legitimate. There's so much trust involved in this space, and we just don't acknowledge it.
It is. That's the thing. It's a lot of trust.
And we act like it's not. Oh, don't trust, verify. This is perfect. We figured it out.
I am not smart enough to verify anything.
Yeah, this is it gives us that ability that we want to kind of guard ourselves and be responsible.
Thank you for the super chat, Anthony.
It's
This
dangerous.
one's for you, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Let me dip off camera. I'm corporate. I have to move over here.
Oh
Before
man,
Elon
I really
Musk
appreciate that
happens.
super chat. Thank you. What would be cooler though is you save your money and just pick up an NFT and stake it.
You should just create super chat NFT.
I do have something like that, and hear me out. I was talking to the team at chaingames.io. The way they use APIs and stuff, I hit them up to see if they could get to the API for the super chats, and apparently they can. So YouTube's chat is an API, like you can get access to it. So I think the way I kind of talked this out and the way it might work, if your username is your Wax wallet and you send a super chat, I could set up a smart contract that would mint from a template an NFT per super chat that would send it to your username. But if your username isn't your Wax address, it would just say transaction failed or wallet doesn't exist and you wouldn't get it. So I don't like, that's the thing I've been working around. But
you're a few
can
action
connect
steps away from being a millionaire off that idea too. That's the sad part.
nah,
You can
dude.
sign a transaction with your Wax wallet that signs what your YouTube account is, so it's connected. You just need to have that
Exactly. You
Yeah.
compare it just like you do in Telegram. We're working on some idea, dude, but the Chain Games guys, dude, I really want them to incorporate NFTs. So like
Chain gains.
Chain Games, I don't know
There
if
you go.
Anders knows what Chain Games is, but if you play Call of Duty or like Apex Legends, if you link that PlayStation or Xbox account to the Chain Games account just by like logging in with Xbox or PlayStation, you can earn crypto just by like shooting people in the head all day.
Yeah.
So I want them to give out NFTs every time I win a tournament. Like if I get first place, I shouldn't just get some shitcoin. I should be getting an NFT trophy with my shitcoin, right? So I'm trying to get them more involved in that, man. Man, dude, it's just I'm so excited to see like, you know, the NFT utility, and I kind of guess we touched on it a little bit, but I do want to go back to that topic, you know, because we have Anders here. I wanted to talk a little bit about where you see the difference in the mainstream utilities for the different NFT blockchains that we're seeing being utilized. Right now we have, you know, Ethereum, Wax, I guess Phantasma with Ghost Markets kind of up and coming. But there's, you know, Binance Smart Chain, they're having NFTs, and we're seeing Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, they got NFTs now. Where do you see the utilities, you know, kind of going for this? Because obviously some things that we're using on Wax would just not be cost possible on Ethereum. And then there's some NFTs that have so much metadata that it actually isn't possible on Wax.
Yeah, I mean, it's every blockchain that is a smart contract chain will have NFTs. It's just a fancy way of saying some JSON data with a timestamp that has a hash.
Yeah.
So I mean, it works for one of the best use cases for in that I can find is tickets for events. Everyone should understand the difference of a seat. If you're sitting close to the event or far back, it's the same event, same time, but the value of those tickets will be different. It's the exact same as 1,000 copies of one of the same NFT. It looks the same, but it's not the same.
Would they use Ethereum for that though?
No, I would never use Ethereum for anything like that. I mean, Ethereum for high value trades is great if you like to pay a lot of gas fees. Um, like I see value in Ethereum, I really do, but I don't see value for most users in Ethereum. For most users, using Uniswap for a trade and paying $50 in fees, that is not possible. That is several hours of work for them, and they're gonna trade away that for just making a transaction and then losing value on the transaction because they did a bad trade and then trade back and lose another $50. They will not use that kind of DeFi. It's for big money, and I think that NFTs should be the same thing, or will be the same thing. Is for big money until we see the second layer solutions that will enable similar things that we can see on Wax today. But yet again, it's hard to have the microtransactions like the Uplift World will have on Wax, where they can actually send 8 zeros, 0.1 Wax to someone if they want to, and it's still profitable. You can mint an NFT and you can divide, like one Wax is currently, I don't know, 2.7 cents or something. You can divide that in 8 decimals and still sell an NFT and you make a profit from it. Well, I guess you have to cover the RAM cost, but the RAM is like nothing.
I wanted to get to that in a second, or I could jump to that now, because a lot of people are worried about that comparison of RAM and gas and the congestions. You know, if we do see all the Ethereum artists come over to Wax and start using the EOS blockchain on that Wax, what ramifications could that have for the cost of RAM? And could we see similar problems, you know, in Wax ecosystem that Ethereum sees during these bull runs of adoption and use case?
Yeah, it's possible. But then again, RAM is just RAM on a server, so a server can be upgraded and the Wax blockchain can have more. So it's a non-issue.
Defeated.
yeah. I mean, like one of our servers has 768 gigs of RAM. That is a lot of JSON data. I mean, that is not the main Wax node that we use. We use it for APIs and such. But I mean, there you can have a server that has a lot of gigabytes of RAM, and if we ever reach that problem, the Wax value will be high enough to pay for those infrastructure anyway. So I don't think that will be any problem. The only worry I have is like some of these packs, when you open them, they consume a lot of CPU. So there might be a queue when you open tons of packs. So it might take, instead of half a second, it might take 1 or 2 seconds because you have to wait for the queue to clear. Because when you open one big pack like the Street Fighter packs, there are actually 50 actions to open it, to mint these NFTs. And that is a lot of actions. So the bigger packs we see, the more CPU it will consume, and it will create a queue. But the queue is not an issue as long as the producers have good peering and everything. It will just mean that instead of you, like on Wax now, you hit the button and it's done. You will hit the button and you have to wait 2 seconds instead of no time, and then it's done.
That's not that bad. But we still get pissed, like when things take a second to load on our phone or something. And we used to be willing to wait there for 5 minutes. So who knows what the future holds. I think we get less patient as time goes. But I don't think that's a big problem, honestly.
No, I don't think so either.
It doesn't sound that bad in comparison to some of the problems other platforms are going to have.
Well, I have seen, and Anders touched on it with the packs and stuff with the CPU. I've seen people, you know, and even projects, you know, that, you know, are a little bit bigger than some of the independent things on Wax. You know, their drops running out of RAM, you know, as they're doing them. And I've seen the community chip in and actually fund the contract with some RAM, which I think is freaking awesome. But amazing. I also do worry about that potential RAM rug pull. nobody's talking about the RAM rug pulls that are coming. But if I like sold all the RAM to Kenn Bosak gift my wax collectibles and had 0 RAM, like you'd have to stake some RAM in there if I had packs that you wanted to open and do these things with the like I'm just gonna leave people hanging, and now they're gonna have to fund the game that they bought, basically like Call of Duty 4. The servers are kind of to the point the players are paying for the servers at this point for Call of Duty 4. But that's because Call of Duty rug pulled on the servers, and the community still wants to play the game, so they're stuck paying for the It's a weird thing. So
Yeah,
I wonder what your thoughts are on that. The RAM
how many
rug pulls.
NFTs have Alien Worlds minted now? I mean, it's way over 1 million NFTs. There's no doubt about that. And I think they have used 30,000 wax or something in RAM. And a lot of that RAM is actually the hash for making the randomization when someone is mining if they get an NFT or not. So like the RAM cost for projects right now, it shouldn't be an issue. It's usually just someone forgot to check if there's still RAM in the smart contract, because most use that before. They use the Atomic Drops X, and then they forgot to check if they still have RAM in there when they create the drop, and then nothing can be minted, and it's waiting for more RAM to be added. As soon as that is, everything works smooth again. So that is easily avoidable. It could be automated in a lot of different ways, and anyone that has a project that, like, if you have a team, someone should be doing that.
I agree. I think a lot of us just need to wake up a little bit, is what I'm hearing, and just like be on top of your shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're selling stuff for people, you should get your store in order before you open.
Well, not even just the store. How do people get on top of their shit, man? I mean, I know, right? I could probably, but like, how do I DYOR and look into these NFT projects? Like back in the day when there was these ICOs, all we had to really do was read a white paper, see who's on the team, and check out the smart. And now it's like, how do we even start the DYOR in NFT projects? Because I do personally worry about a lot of the art that I bought and it being by artists that are from Fiverr and have no idea that some company bought their art from Fiverr and tokenized it and made hundreds of thousands of dollars for like $50. I worry about this. So I'm curious, like, how do you think we should start that standard of investigational due diligence? What should that look like for a begin end user when they see a project, more than just saying, oh, Kenn bought one of these NFTs, so it must be legit. Like, how do they find out and come to their own conclusions?
I mean one of the most important things that I see is that all teams releasing something has to have a website with team information. If they don't, we should not give them any money. That has not been the case from the start because there was so few projects, but more and more will come. More and more will be bad actors. They will steal people's art. Not only will they buy something they did not have full rights for, they will also just take something and mint it and say, hey, we did this. And on the Fiverr note, depending on what your contract is with that artist, that could be okay to do. Like you can buy something of Fiverr, an artist that is great and he's happy, but you could also pay someone and you don't have full commercial rights for it. And if you do not have that, you should not be minting NFTs. And that is a legal action like all other legal actions. So that it should be taken up between them. And the team that minted those NFTs, if they do not have right for it, they wrongfully used it, and they will probably have to pay some kind of fee for it. At least I hope so.
But even, I mean, a lot of these teams are synonymous. I don't know the real names behind half of the whitelisted projects on Atomic Hub right now. Half of them. Half of whitelisted, not secondary verified, but still whitelisted contracts on Atomic Hub. Nobody knows who the real people are behind them. So imagine the artists from Fiverr when they realize their shit. Like, who do they have to sue? Who are they gonna, come after? I think
Yep.
Atomic Hub's going to be held accountable and responsible because there is no person to hold accountable. There will just be a corporation to be held accountable. And I genuinely worry about Rarible and Atomic Hub and all these marketplaces when this does happen. Right now, there's no legal paperwork, but that's about a day away from being written and signed, and then them, being in trouble. And I don't want to see that happen, but to me, it feels inevitable.
Some of these accounts on these platforms hold an amazing amount of power. There are single groups of people or individuals on platforms like Wax, or not Wax, Atomic Hub, that like they could do one thing and sink the whole ship. There's things like that on Rarible too. Like there's artists that could like just, like somebody like Beeple just says something bad about a platform, gone. I mean, that's a lot of people have power right now. And I don't know if that's a great thing. I don't know what it means. It seems like it's been okay so far, but we'll see what happens. We're in that kind of age.
It also means that.
So wait a minute. Is Nathan, are you saying that you're worried about cancel culture coming to crypto and NFTs?
No, I'm more worried about.
Because people could cancel Rarible. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. In some weird way, you're right. Like that's crazy, right? But it's also crazy that somebody could like just have so much influence without even canceling somebody. Like they could just like move funds, or like they just buy like a whole stock of one NFT and reprice it, for instance. That's like another action that somebody.
You mean like what Mark Cuban's been doing with manipulating the market of every NFT that he's ever bought?
Yeah, there's him on Rarible. There's one on each platform. And sometimes it's either a collector, an investor, or a person themselves putting out content. So it's like, I don't want to get, I'm involved in a few of these ecosystems. I have friends that are friends with some of these people. I don't want to call out any names, but we know who we're talking about. They're out there. There's one. All right, I'm getting too close.
No, but I actually think that is good to be able to hold teams accountable, but it can't be used to abuse any power. Yeah. But I mean, now we have actually free marketplaces that are starting to evolve into good marketplaces. It's on a Wax, for example. It's Atomic Hub. It is NFT Hive. NFT Hive has a lot of powerful tools. It is a little bit hard to find some of them if you do not know if they are there. But then waxstash.com just released their updated website, and that is amazing. It is fast. It is easy to use. It remembers your favorite collections to browse. It's a great place. So waxstash.com is something that I will start to use more. I was testing it out, and it really looks like it's.
Yeah, I've been checking out NFT Hive, so I'll definitely check out that waxstash.com.
And that's not to be confused with the crypto stash.
I believe it's a different spelling of stash as well.
Different. Oh, yeah, that's true, huh? Yeah. Not a S-T-A-C-H-E. It's S-T-A-S-H. I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I think like that's something I liked when we start to see more marketplaces come up, and they can start to do their own verifications of collections, and then there will be some kind of verification that will be the standard in the future. Right now,
I think we're gonna leapfrog that, Anders. I think what we're gonna see is what celebrities did when they first started on Twitter. What we're starting to see is people are using these marketplaces the same way celebrities started using Twitter. The first thing they did when they started seeing the engagement level of it was they built their own websites. They built their own social media platforms. And I think what we're going to see are these, art celebrities build their own marketplaces because it's as easy as copy and pasting the open source code. Or maybe companies like Atomic Hub or Pink or whatever will have contracts with people who are just like, hey, you want your own Atomic Hub skin and overlay, whatever for your own. Here you go. It's it's a service now. You can just get your own marketplace, right?
There is a WooCommerce plugin that works with Wax.
What if you just went to Beeple.com and you bought your NFTs there?
Well, that's what's happening. That's exactly what I'm saying. You're not going to go.
That's what I'm saying. Yep. Like it's going
because to these artists realize, Atomic Hub, they take 4%, right, from every trade.
Why would he do it? He doesn't have to deal with any of these percentages. You just get it all. I mean, that's the thing, right? So and it's getting to that level where you go like, oh, that's not crazy. You're going to have to give something to somebody. Well, it's millions of dollars all of a sudden.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
changes the game. It changes the perception, the feeling that people feels when selling some work changes. Everything changes.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think it feels when you sell a Top Shot moment on Flow and it's like fucking 20% or something? I don't know. They take a lot of money, bro, for every Top Shot. Every Top Shot, they're just ripping me off, it looks like, you know?
The higher your sale, too. So the better you do, the shittier you're going to feel because you go, oh, man, look how much I just lost. It's like looking at the tax deduction section on your paycheck.
Well, this is why
I don't feel that way.
I said, if you
why not? Why don't you feel that way?
I don't know. I guess I live in Sweden where I'm used to taxes, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you're used to going to do good things, probably. It's no, actually
but I mean, if I buy something for 2,000 wax and I sell it for 100,000 wax, even if I lose 10%, I don't mind.
Right.
That's very true. That's the thing. Your loss has to be less than your initial investment.
I guess to kind of wrap things up, we can use that as our final topic is, you know, do we value our NFTs in how much wax we spent and how much more wax we want? Or is it, I spent this many dollars worth of wax. Now that wax has gone up, maybe I'll take less wax because it's more dollars. So right now, some people are looking at actually selling a wax NFT for the same amount of wax they spent for it, but making a profit off of what it looks like to be a wax break even.
Yeah, and a lot of them are selling for less wax than I paid for it.
But which is probably more dollars though, still, right?
Exactly. Like what I have seen the last few days, since this isn't a real issue in my opinion right now, because my goal is to have more wax, not to have more dollars. So I'm losing value right now. That's the way I see it. But when I look at it, the dollar value is same or higher, even though the wax amount is lower. So people are, from what I have looked at, the wax amount has become lower, but the dollar value is higher than before. So people are like balancing it out in some way. So they are paying a little bit more for it, or selling it a little bit higher, but for less wax. And if my goal is to acquire more wax, I just lost money on a lot of these NFTs that I acquired. But if I want to buy a house, or if I want to do something else, I'm still the same as I was before or better.
Yeah, it's that beautiful mind game that all of us play as NFT people.
Yeah, I'm all in on wax. I kind of wish I could turn off the dollar value from ever being displayed on Atomic Hub. I could care less about the dollar value. I value my NFTs in wax, and I value them in the amount of wax that I spent. And if I wanted to 10x that, NFT investment, I'm valuing that in the amount of wax when I 10x it, not the amount of dollars.
Maybe for people who don't trust the process.
And I think more people that get in will probably do the same.
Care about fiat,
Yeah, but like wax, what the goal seems to be, if you read the latest wax article they published, they want to sell a lot of NFTs for low amount of money. So they will attract the small people. That seemed to be the goal, and I like that because most people cannot pay $69 million for an NFT.
Well, that's
but
why.
They can pay
did you
$1.
See my tweet yesterday? There's no such thing as a $1 Ethereum NFT.
Yeah, that is like I even sold for. I think just to make a point, I sold something for 8 decimals and 1 wax, because then there's 0 fees, because you can't divide it more. So that was a 0 fee sale. Just to prove a point, and I did that, and I had a profit. I probably lost money on creating the RAM, but I don't know. I have a lot of RAM.
You made your points, though. It don't matter.
Well, I've seen the opposite, though, on Ethereum. It seems that, if you look at any of the mainstream Ethereum marketplaces, they do value their Ethereum art in ETH. If they paid 1 ETH for that NFT, they're listing it for 2. And they're not very, they're not really considering the volatility of Ethereum. There's people that have paid, 10 ETH for an NFT 4 years ago or whatever, and today selling it for 30. And it's I maybe because they have that liquidity and that longevity, the mentality is more so there. But I think that may carry over to wax, where people will just start to value it in that. But again, that's why I'm bringing this up. Maybe you in the community, you let me know if you're watching, what do you value your wax NFTs in? Do you value them in more, or do you value in wax more than USD? Or is the USD more important than the amount of wax that you were trying to buy it and then sell it for?
Well, a lot of powerful collectors on Ethereum, though, we need to note, a lot of them were getting into this when Ethereum wasn't $2,000, $1,500 to $2,000 per ETH. It was between $90 and $300. So your fees were less dollars. So, I mean, it looks different.
I think we have a little bit different.
There's these weird mind games too,
Yeah.
that we're forgetting. A lot of people that have a ton of ETH were getting it for $90 an ETH, or buying and selling things at that rate. So they compiled hundreds of ETH, and now it's worth all this money. And we're like, oh, how can they afford it? But it didn't cost them anything.
Shout out to Senor Lupe. He says his next release may be lower in wax, so friends can continue to collect. Yeah, man. I'm
Shout out,
with you.
Lupe.
I
We
listed
love
a
you,
bunch
bro.
of NFTs for like 5 wax today, just because people were starting to say, like, dude, nothing's like under like $5 or $10. I can't find any dollar NFTs that you're talking. I'm like, oh wow, you're right. There's no such thing as a $1 Kenn Bosak NFT. So I started listing some for $1 for the bros today.
Yeah, I got to relist mine because me and John put out our pink elephant collection, and the price just like jumped up, and we got to just reprice everything, I suppose. But then it's like the wax thing. Do we want people that bought it for a certain amount of wax to feel, that they got ripped off because we price it
This
lower?
is why
now?
I'm not repricing my drops. If I set a
That's
drop
right.
up
From
and
now on,
if
maybe.
it's for wax and wax keeps going up, that drop is in that amount of wax because it's not fair to the
Fairness.
people that spent 420 wax on it when it was only 3 cents a wax to now
Right.
see somebody spend 50 wax because it's 30 cents a wax. Like,
Yeah,
Shout out
but
Jordan, by the way.
one
by
thing that I
following
think
us.
is different from Wax and Ethereum in this case is that Wax started to bring folks that had no clue about blockchain. With that Garbage Pail Kids release, the first one, there was a lot of people coming that had no clue about anything.
I got this this newer one.
Yeah, exactly. That is so sweet. And those people
dude.
will always value things in dollars because Wax is just a means for them to get the Garbage Pail Kids. I would guess the same thing is for the Street Fighter folks. Wax is just the thing they have to get to be able to get what they want. While in our case, we want wax and we want NFTs. Our Ethereum guys want Ethereum and they want NFTs. I hope we see more crypto folks come and start doing this because I think they will want to have more wax rather than dollars because they know that everything is volatile. What they want is more tokens.
They just
The
need to
wax
start
is
paying
actually
attention. They need to start paying attention to the staking economics in wax, man. I
No.
mean, what wax did was basically catered hand in mouth, like they spoon fed the Ethereum community with that wax E. And I stake wax P, which it doesn't have nothing to do with the Ethereum tokenomics, but it's still earning. I'm earning 30 wax a day right now. Every day I get 30 wax.
Yeah.
Wait for people to start to realize that they can stake wax, play with these NFTs, even stake them on our planet or whatever. Like there's so much more utility in the wax ecosystem for NFTs because of the cost of use is there. We can afford to use these things, not just stare at them.
Yeah, I mean, DeFi Box is a DeFi platform on iOS, and I really want to see something like that coming to Wax now that when we will get all the Ethereum tokens being pegged over, because then we will have a USDT on Wax, and that will be something a lot of folks want. For me, NFT seem to be a USDT token
Yeah.
because they are pegged to dollars, but with the upside.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we just got to be creative in how we look at things too. We have the power to be creative here.
Thank you for the super chat, Smart Digital Payments.
Oh, thank you.
That one's for you, Mike. Cheers. Says, I own a ton of emoji owls coming out for 5 wax each by artist AJ Draws. Thanks for showing him to me. So AJ is my main artist. AJ is my #1 go-to artist for my NFTs and my collectibles. So AJ's doing Smart Digital Payments art for his NFTs. Yeah, you better believe I'll be there supporting that, Mike. Thank you so much for working with AJ. I see everybody picking up the NFTs, all the sales right there on the screen. You can see the pop-ups happening live. So people are going and picking up those NFTs. Yeah, I mean, they're only 5 wax, right? So maybe that's a risk worthwhile. You could throw that on our planet and see how long it takes you to stake it, earn ether, and then sell the ether for 5 wax and see how long it takes you to break even.
Hey, get your money back.
Right. I'm curious on that. So, Anders, where can people go to get in touch with you and join your community? I know you have a Telegram, YouTube channel, all that. Let people know how they can get involved with you and what you're up to.
Any observation, that is probably the most easy way. If you Google that, you will find it everywhere. But any observation on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, you can go anyobservation.com or anyo.io, which is a shorter domain that I tend to use. And you will find links to everything I do. I release NFTs. I do slices each month, which is like a subscription service. And then I drop NFTs to everyone that buy them the following month. And today I sent out NFTs for a value of $5,000. Wow. Well, that was the market value on the account before I started sending them out. And I don't think that is what they will get when they sell them, because they were evaluated on the wax amount before, when people want to pay less for them now. But still, it's cool.
That is awesome. So, guys, definitely check out the slices, right? That's what you call them. Slices. Yeah. You got to pick up some slices on Atomic Hub. Check it out. It's anyo.io. Anyo. anyo.io. And it's Any Observation. Google it. You'll find them on YouTube as well there. And yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. If you guys are trying to figure out how do I make an NFT, I got this JPEG, but how do I make an NFT? Any Observation has a YouTube video for you. Anders put together a tutorial, shows you exactly all the steps you need to take as an artist to make your very first NFT. So if you want to learn how to do this, go ahead and check out Any Observation on YouTube. Look for that tutorial and let me know what your first NFT is, and maybe I'll pick one up.
Maybe.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, his videos are great. That's where I go for my, Ken sent me to him first when I started on the Wax ecosystem, or blockchain, I should say. And yeah, it's the best resource that I know of. So get after it.
Thank you, mate. And thanks for everything. It was a lovely chat.
Thank you, man.
Love you. It's great to have you.
Thanks for being such a great component of the ecosystem and an advocate of education, putting out the content, Like I said earlier in, the beginning of the show, you're definitely somebody I look up to in the space. And I know I unrightfully bestowed NFT CEO onto my title, but there are a few people that I would definitely put ahead of me, in a boardroom meeting. And Anders, you're definitely one of those bros that are ahead of me in that game. So if you guys, are watching me thinking I'm the fucking king of CEOs, this dude, that's the dude. Watch his shit, all right? And as always, have a day.
Have a day. We love you.
Thanks. See y'all.
Hello, happy bros. Hey. You're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the
happy, bros. Come get some Kenn Bosak.